Hey fantasy fans, it is Liz Loza back with some daily play throughout the postseason. Last weekend, together, we set a lineup for the wild card weekend. If you didn't play then, you can get on board now in the divisional round. I'm gonna talk through my lineup step by step, help you maybe figure out your own lineup as you go through it too. Now last week I took a more balanced approach. This week though, because of the defenses playing and because of the matchups, I am going studs and some scrubs, baby. But I am gonna start at the defensive position so I can figure out what offense to fade. Now, I think the Cardinals are an interesting play against the Packers, but for $1 less, I am liking the Denver Broncos defense. Now, I'm gonna go ahead to the top and look at my quarterbacks. To me, Carson Palmer screams a start. I love the Cardinals' chances against the Packers. Palmer has been lights out on the season. He's my guy. Yes, he's expensive, but I know I can find value elsewhere. Moving along to the running backs. Well, I already said that I like the Cardinals. Look at David Johnson. Yeah, he's real pricey, but what's below him? D'Angelo Williams? Might not play. Marshawn Lynch, a late scratch last week. Jonathan Stewart, well, he hasn't played ball for nearly a month, so I'm gonna pay up and again have faith that I can find value elsewhere. Slot in my RB1. Now I was talking about studs, right? Well, who's the biggest stud on the board? Rob Gronkowski, likely, right? So let's move on down to the tight end position and slot that guy in. Yes, he's expensive, but again, we'll find the value elsewhere. I love his chances. So now what am I gonna do? I've gotta find that value I talked about, right? So let's go back up to my running back 2 position. Spencer Ware is interesting at just $19. I mentioned him last week and he did score. He is proving to be the better option. Let's not forget that Jeremy Maclin is not likely to play for the Chiefs, and so I think the Chiefs are going to rely very heavily on the run. Quick note, it was reported on Tuesday morning that he had a sprained ankle. If he doesn't go this weekend, Charkandrick West, who's a few dollars cheaper, is going to be your guy. Well, we have to tackle our wide receivers here. Wide receiver 1, for me, I like Demaryius Thomas. He's not too expensive, and we know that the Pittsburgh secondary is thin, and we also know that despite the fact that Demaryius Thomas has struggled with drops, he's a large target and he's able to produce regardless of who's under center for the Broncos. So I'm using him as my wide receiver 1. Moving along to wide receiver 2, I am clearly high on those Cardinals. I'm going to continue to stack. Both Michael Floyd and John Brown are the same price. Now to me, Michael Floyd is the safer of the 2 options because he was more targeted than John Brown through the end of the regular season. But John Brown always finds a way to jitterbug his way into the end zone. So, coin flip here, I'm gonna go with Floyd because I think he's the safer option. If you want upside, then I totally understand why you would move on with Brown. All right, we have a wide receiver 3. We don't have a ton of money left. So here is the signature down Loza deep sleeper for the week. Jared Abbrederis of Green Bay. He is the Packers' number 4 receiver. Devontae Adams, not likely to play this weekend. He has a hurt knee. And in late December, Aaron Rodgers, whose opinion obviously means something to this organization, said that he loved Abbrederis and wanted to see him on the field more. Well, it looks like he's going to get his wish in the postseason. Abbrederis, just $10, the minimum buy. That is your deepest sleeper swing for the fences tournament play. What do we have left? Well, just a flex. We got $11 left. Not a whole lot to spend. I like Owen Daniels. I know I talk about putting a running back in that flex spot because of the goal line, but I'd prefer to have Gronk and take a flyer on Owen Daniels. We know that Gary Kubiak likes to feature the tight end position, and it makes sense to me that in a game with such high stakes, he would rely on a player that he has such a long history with. So I'm going with Daniels at $11. So that's my lineup. Whether you take all of it, none of it, I hope at least some of it helped you out. Be sure to check back here at Yahoo Sports and play Yahoo Daily throughout the conference championship weekend.